Welcome to Sports, Wheels, and Reels with Jeff Miller and Austin Horton. One show, two guys, three topics, unlimited possibilities. Presented by Mark Miller Subaru. Engage with us on social media or email us at podcast@mmsubaru.com. And now, welcome your hosts, Jeff Miller and Austin Horton.
Hey there, it's Sports, Wheels, and Reels, episode 47. I'm Austin Horton. He's Jeff Miller. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, how are you?
I'm excited to have the show today. Ashley is always producing, putting it together for us. Coming up in sports, a Utah Jazz player gets a break from military duties for one night. Why and what? The Olympics and baseball, how are they connected? The NBA playoffs have been nothing but dramatic.
They've been fun.
And a Utah kid just made a lot of money in the NFL. Also coming up in Wheels, we're wrapping up Subaru Loves the Earth Month. We'll tell you a little bit about the all-electric Solterra. Get you ready for May. And in Reels, Nazis are bad news, but they're no match for a Finnish gold miner in this week's box office. Tell you about it next on Sports, Wheels, and Reels.
My name is Sierra Hudson. My Subaru is safety for my family. So this past winter, we hit a black ice and we just started to slide. And it was just one of those moments where you truly feel helpless. I know it's a car, but it means so much more to us and our family. Subaru is one of the safest brands, and I've personally lived that. Subaru is a brand you can trust, and Mark Miller Subaru is the local Utah retailer that you will love.
All right, Jeff.
Sports.
Private Markkanen.
Start the Jazz. Winning. Most improved player. You surprised?
I'm not surprised. I'm happy.
He definitely deserved it. What did he go up, like 11 points a game? And everyone thought it was either him or Shai.
I was surprised at the margin of votes.
He was an all-star to a superstar. Like, going from a role player to an all-star is a lot harder move than that.
Yeah, you mean Gilgeous-Alexander? Yeah.
Totally.
And Larry Markkanen was pretty much, when he was traded to Utah, a lot of NBA critics were like, this might be it for him.
He was a throw-in. Like, no one really talked about him as part of the trade. They talked about Sexton.
Yeah.
Right? They talked about
Kessler. That
was the other one. And all the trade picks and everything like that. So, like, he was kind of just the throw-in and see what happens. And I think the Jazz really wanted him.
They found a cornerstone.
They did. And I think he's only, 25 years old, 26 years old, something like that?
And like I mentioned in our teaser, he's currently on active duty.
The hope is, they've got him for 2 more years, but he's eligible for extension this summer. The hope is they can extend him and keep him here a long time. That's what I think most Jazz fans are hoping this summer.
Well, their current immediate and future plans are tied around Larry Markkanen.
Oh, for sure.
And he's one most improved player. That should be just the start of things, I think, for him.
Definitely.
All right, moving on in sports, we're going to the NFL.
NFL draft. Utah player Dalton Kincaid drafted, 25th pick, first round.
Lots of good guaranteed money in the first round.
Would you have bet him being drafted before Clark Phillips?
I would have, for one reason. Clark Phillips is very small, very short.
He's so good, though.
But he's really good. But
I think he'll be a second or third round pick probably.
And the NFL has recently found a renewed love for the tight end.
Yeah, and you give him to Josh Allen. Oh, that's going to be a great pick. CBS gave him a C. I don't like that CBS draft.
Yeah,
I mean that's a good pick for the Bills.
There's some truth to being out here in the mountains. We get forgotten and not looked at a lot. And CBS is an East Base place, so I get why they said that. They're wrong though. Dalton Kincaid, I think, should be a multi-time Pro Bowler by the end of his career.
So I slipped this picture in real quick because a better view of what the ballpark should have been. That's how they should have announced it. Like, it's a much better breakdown of what this looks like.
Yeah, because the cartoon picture or whatever we saw.
Totally. But this actually shows you how close to the freeway it is, which is so cool. Like the view angles of it, how far it is, and that the smokestacks, which seem so prominent in that picture, actually probably aren't that prominent when you see how far they probably would be away. I mean, obviously this is a lot can change. This is just the first idea, but
that first one we saw, the stadium was right here.
Yeah, and the argument on this is what was presented to Ryan Smith.
Oh, okay.
And Ryan Smith said he didn't want to be a part of it.
Really?
That's what the article from the Salt Lake Tribune came out and said.
Because of this rendering?
No, they brought it to him, and he wasn't interested in getting involved. And so that's when they went to the Millers.
Huh.
And Ryan said he's very deep in the conversations with NHL still.
Yeah, Ryan said that's in motion.
In motion, which that sounds like it's happening.
But I'm disappointed by this.
You wanted the smokestacks. Now you're like,
Yeah.
I want the smokestacks in the outfield.
Yeah, I was getting very excited about
We
the
should
look.
start protesting
Oh, yeah.
down in Sandy at the Ivory Tower of Larry Miller.
Day and night, night and day.
We want smokestacks.
Ivory Tower. There's no connotation there. Yeah.
No.
Smokestacks. Yeah.
All right, playoffs.
And NBA
It's kind of
playoffs.
small up here. It's tough to see, but at least it's out there. So another one ended last night. Celtics beat the Hawks.
4 games to 2.
Did you watch the end of that game?
I watched the end of game 5.
Okay, the end game last night, basically it was like a tie game with like 3 minutes left, and the Celtics were like, okay, we need to stop screwing around.
That's enough?
They just came down, made like 3 threes in a row, 3 blocks on them, just like literally just shut them down. Got to a play at the end. There's like 18 seconds left, and they're on like a tough place to inbound the ball, like deep corner sideline. And literally took them 4 times to throw the ball in. Like they literally threw it off the guy's legs and out of bounds 4 times with 18 seconds left, and finally just threw it out of bounds. Like that's how good the Celtics defense was
Wow.
at the end of the game.
Wow. Well, so that series is over. Tomorrow we start the Suns and the Nuggets.
Nuggets
That'll be
tomorrow.
good.
That's going to be a great series. Celtics Sixers is going to be a great series. Those 2 teams hate each other.
It's going to be a lot more of this drama that we've seen.
And it's like the good old days when teams hated each other.
It's more close
It's
to
closer to that, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
when you got guys that actually really don't like each other, where instead of like after every game, it's like, oh, that was fun. Let's go get a drink. Like, yeah.
trading jerseys.
Yeah,
on
well, we
the
didn't. Like, you
midcourt.
think Bulls Pistons did that back in the day?
No,
No, they had security guards
That's right.
mid court. Like, do not come close to each other.
they had attorneys. Yeah. So the Warriors and the Kings.
Still have Game 6 tonight.
So and I think
In
we're all
it's in.
Sacramento.
No, it's in. It's in San Francisco.
Thank you.
Yeah,
The
so
S is there.
Warriors at home. They should close that one out, but you never know. I'd love to see the Kings send that Game 7 because that's been a great series. Then Grizzlies, Lakers. Lakers. Although I hate the Grizzlies too.
I know. Which team do you dislike more in that series?
I just hate Dylan Brooks, but I hate the Lakers. But I like LeBron.
Moises, who works here, every time he sees me, he says, "Go Lakers," because he knows how much I hate the Lakers.
Yeah.
But I would like to see the Lakers win that
I want to
series.
see the Lakers win the series. I like LeBron a lot more than I hate the Lakers.
Okay, and I'll just say I dislike Dylan Brooks a lot more than I dislike the Lakers.
Dylan Brooks should be out of this league.
Should be in jail.
Yeah, Dylan
Google
Brooks is
it.
bad. For the flop that he did against the Utes back in the day. Is that why?
Hitting his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, that too.
All right, and the Heat and the Knicks.
The playoffs have been fun. Some of these games, I mean, that Heat Bucks game was one of the most fun playoff games I've watched. It wasn't involving the Jazz. Like I love that. Was so much fun.
What is up with Jimmy Butler when the playoffs are on? He suddenly is
Just
phenomenal.
becomes Jimmy Buckets.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, though, they've got to do something with reviewing the playoffs.
Okay.
Like I get it in the regular season. Okay, we don't want these games to go on forever and like that. 1 review per team, but to limit a team in the playoffs to 1 review, I think it should be 1 review during the game and maybe 1 in the last minute.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you, at the end of that game, if they would have reviewed that bucket, Jimmy Butler would have got an offensive foul.
You think so?
He would have absolutely gotten an offensive foul.
was-
It was an incredible play, insanely athletic, shot it horizontal to the ground. But there's no doubt in anyone's mind he pushed off. Connaughton, I think it was pretty pushed.
Yeah, it was. There was pretty much no
It
debate.
was 2 hands to the chest, full extension, then grab the ball. Like, totally. And then at the end of the Golden State Kings game the other day, Steph's double dribble.
That was unbelievable.
It was because what happened is the entire Sacramento team stopped
Yes.
because it was so obvious. And 3 referees missed it.
3 FREs. That's well said.
I like referees.
Yeah. But what about the Bucks? Coach Budenholzer.
Is he going to get fired?
Oh, I would have fired him before
not
he got to
calling
the locker
timeouts?
room. Yes.
Doesn't call timeout at the end of regulation. that has 2 timeouts at the end of the game.
Yes.
And things are in mayhem, doesn't call timeout.
Right.
And then what's Grayson Allen thinking?
Oh, great.
Like-
Why is he getting the ball?
Dude, you went to Duke. You're
Why
supposed
is
to be pretty
he-
smart, right? Like,
There's 0.9. I think I'll Euro step my way to the basket. Yeah.
I mean, he's one dribble in, corner jumper. It was 1 point game at the time.
yeah. Yeah.
They win. Go to get next game.
Well, and anytime Grayson Allen is dribbling, you've lost the possession. It's not a good
Grayson
idea.
Allen's job is to shoot.
But Budenholzer, I could not believe what he was doing.
I
Or
would
not
be,
doing.
I would not be surprised if he's out.
And he and Quinn Snyder are going to switch in Atlanta. Because Snyder was his top assistant. Now
They'll
he's gonna be,
go back to Atlanta's assistant.
although I thought it was interesting that Alex Jensen told the Jazz, I'm not coming back. And I'm not coming back.
Yeah, no, I don't like how that got put on Will. I'm pretty sure it was Alex that came back and said he didn't want to be there.
Pretty sure Quinn Snyder placed a call to Alex Jensen
Said,
said, there's a spot here.
Yeah,
So,
I could see that for sure.
all right, so NBA playoffs, it's fun.
But that's one thing. When you talk about coaching staff, it's pretty rare for a coach to come in and just keep the entire assistant crew. Usually it's the entire crew leaves together.
Well, and Jensen went through it twice now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Jensen's kind of figured out the fact that he's not going to be the guy, that he needs to go somewhere where he can be the guy.
And his kids are now a little older.
Yeah.
That was a factor, too, in not going before when Cleveland was interested in him.
Yep.
So
Olympics.
So Fraser Bullock, I forget his exact title, but he is one of the top guys in getting the Olympics here the last time around, and now trying to get them here in 2034 is probably more likely at this point.
That's what they're saying.
He said he presented an idea that why the IOC will have a very hard time saying no to Utah. And it's right now 95% of the venues are contracted to do Olympic events in 2034
Pretty awesome.
or 2030 if that were to come
And they're
up.
ready to go in 2030. They'd be ready to go in 2026 if they had to be.
Yeah. But we were talking about the baseball park a few moments ago. And Fraser had some good comments about how while it's not dire that the Olympics get a
What would they
venue
use
like
it for?
that, he was mentioning medal ceremonies, opening and closing ceremonies.
Opening and closing, they'd still use Rice Eccles. It's bigger.
No, this would be bigger than Rice Eccles.
How many
Rice
people
Eccles is 50-something thousand.
Yeah, the baseball's supposed to be 35.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
I've missed on that one.
The biggest baseball in the
Um,
entire country is like 52, Dodger Stadium.
Oh, that's true. But he also mentioned like the big air, the stuff that's been added to the Winter Olympics,
There's some stuff you could do there.
the big air snowboard tricks in the baseball park. So just his point was
Gives you another
just
30
having
something.
another venue downtown
Yeah,
to show the IOC
totally.
is and right by the airport and
It's going to be brand new on the tracks line.
state of the art.
Totally.
So that's kind of tied together there.
It is all good, but that's still in line. Still hoping to get those Olympics here.
All right, well, that is sports for this week. Coming up next, we'll talk about wrapping up Subaru Loves the Earth Month. Jeff has a new toy
I do.
that you should have in your garage in the
And
next
you
month
could
and a half.
have.
Yeah, that's right. Solterra, talking about it next here on Sports Wheels and Reels.
I'm Spencer Kofed, and my Subaru is Extreme Adventure. Outback's really great for my lifestyle. It has just enough space for all my gear, but it's not crazy big of a footprint. If any of my friends were looking to buy a Subaru, I'd recommend Mark Miller Subaru, so you never feel like they're hiding stuff from you. Whether it's skiing, skydiving, mountain bikes, surfing, my Subaru gets me out on my adventures. Subaru is a brand I trust, and Mark Miller Subaru is the Utah retailer that I love.
All right, Jeff, let's talk wheels.
Wheels.
The Subaru news is, let's talk Solterra.
So, Terrace, I've had mine now about a month, I think.
Okay. What trim level did you get? Touring?
I have a Touring. Yep.
Did you have the
white
glass
Touring.
top?
White Touring with a black top. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So the two-tone, that's the way I would go. I have a customer today, Tristan, that's coming in. He has already ordered a touring two-tone, but he's never test-driven one yet. And we've
Yeah.
got
Wow.
you could come drive these
You
in
can
our
definitely
lot.
come drive one right now. If you order one, you're only a couple months out, probably 2-3 months out.
End of June. Yep.
Yeah, but I've loved it. I mean, the electric car thing's cool. I mean, it's so quiet, it's so smooth to drive. The power's right there because it's an electric car. I drive about 10 to 15 miles each way to work. So the range has been fine for me. We've taken it up to Park City a couple times. Like, it was great over the canyon.
But when you have charger at home, you have charger here at work.
Yeah, got charger at home. Like, got level 2 at both.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta have level 2 charger.
Yeah, if you're gonna buy it, you're gonna just assume you're gonna have to spend $1,000 and put a level 2 charger in your house.
Which 3 years ago those were $5,000.
Yeah, but
So
you can
it's
buy one on
coming way
Amazon
down.
for $600 or $700, and then all you have to do is just put a 220 outlet in your garage.
I would recommend having an electrician do it.
I would as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although I rewired a sprinkler system the other day and did the electrical part
Look
too.
at
And,
you.
doing little twisty things like that.
Yeah.
Didn't even die.
Oh, and that's mixing the electricity and water.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Uh,
But overall, I mean, I love the park feature. I use the auto park feature all the time.
so
I
explain
use
that
it
one.
just to.
What's the auto park feature?
So like you pull up to your parking spot, and rather than like go forward and try and back yourself in perfect, and like make sure you're like you just push a button, push the parking spot you want to go in, push enter, and sit back and watch.
It's very, very helpful on parallel parking.
Yeah, I haven't done it. Actually, never done it in
Haven't
parallel.
you? Oh, you should try
I've
it.
never done it in the parallel, but I've
It's a
done-
little unnerving.
Yeah, it's more like it's a little slow doing it, so you feel a little weird if you're in a busy.
Come
parking lot.
on,
Just
get me
like-
out of here.
Like you're looking over, like I don't know. You look at the guy, like I don't know. It's parking itself. Give it a break.
Do you use the I forget what it's called, the one pedal?
One pedal thing.
Yeah.
I generally don't drive
S-pedal,
it
I think.
down enough.
Yeah.
It really won't go on until you're about 150 miles or less. So
Okay.
once if you have a full charge over 75, 80%, it doesn't let you engage it. But once you do it, it's pretty cool.
And the S pedal means
It's basically it's like downshifting in an automatic. It uses the brake. It turns like a harder brake on at all times. So if you let off the gas, you come to a stop, and it regenerates the battery.
you don't use the brakes.
No. You
just-
regenerate the battery and don't use your brakes.
Yeah.
So it saves your brakes and gets you more
You're
battery.
coasting to a stop, but faster.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's cool, and it's very affordable. And there, if you're gonna lease, there's a way to still get you some tax
Yeah, we can
breaks.
get the lease money on the tax breaks. You get $7,500 if you lease it. But I mean, overall, I think it's a great first entry. They've got some work to do on some other stuff, and hopefully we're going to see that hybrid come in next year in the Forester, and then a couple more of these models come in a couple of years. But
If I can play devil's advocate for just a moment and share with you my one mark against Solterra so far, it's that when I am in it, I can't shake the feeling that I'm in a all-wheel drive Prius
yeah.
because it's a Toyota cabin.
You get the Toyota cabin feel. You don't
Yeah.
get the Subaru. You don't get as much of the Subaru feel. My
Yes.
other downside on it, I think, would be, I think the adaptive cruise control and the safety system is good. It's not eyesight.
Exactly. So
It's not. The adaptive cruise control. It's radar based versus the
Yes.
camera based, and so you don't get the exact same feel in the cars. It doesn't hold distance quite as well as the Subaru. I mean,
Right.
It still does it really well, but when you've been driving the Subaru EyeSight,
That's-
there's nothing like the Subaru EyeSight system.
well, and I was gonna say, I
Like
think
even
this
to
is
like Mercedes, BMW, there's nothing like the Subaru EyeSight system.
and this is people like you and I who we're all Subaru all the time.
No. So we're
Others
still,
that are coming in here probably
you won't
don't
even
know
notice
what we're
the
talking
difference.
about.
No, you won't even notice the difference. It works great. It's just like the Subaru one is just so smart. A car pulls in front of you while you have adaptive cruise control. It immediately pulls it back off smoothly. Like it's just a little more jerky and those kinds of things.
Well, come down, test drive it. We've got cars here for you to drive, take out on the town, see if it is the one for you, and we'll get you one before the end of June probably. So come on in and see it. And you're saving. I just saw Forbes said if you're buying a car and want to have a good impact on the environment, Subaru is your number one
Subaru's
choice.
Number one out there for sure. So here's a good ending up. Subaru loves the Earth Month. So here's a cool story you found out of Japan.
Yeah, so the plant in Japan is taking these Takata airbags that they've been recycling or taking out of cars,
Yep.
and they're repurposing them as
Tote bags.
reusable tote bags, which I thought was so cool. And they're only $20 a piece.
Yeah.
You get the little Subaru or Toyota tag right there on them. And the $20 a piece goes towards environmental services.
I think that's so cool. It's a lot like what they did in the U.S. when they did the banner recycling. So about 5 or 6 years ago, they did a program. They stopped doing it for some reason, but where it's really because they don't send us banners anymore. It used to be every event we ever did, we would get a banner. And there's a
Like a
banner,
vinyl banner?
like an
Okay.
8x3 vinyl banner that we put on our thing out there. You'd hang out, and you always had a place for your banner for the event.
Yeah.
And they stopped doing events, so they stopped doing the banners. But what they would do is they'd give you a box when you got your banner, a tube to send the banner back to them.
Okay.
And then they would take that banner and they'd make tote bags out of it. Or
Oh, really?
keychains, or they'd recycle it. And you'd have all this cool, recycled banner. That's all just sales event banners.
And those banners are all waterproof.
Yeah. It worked great. It's a really similar idea.
Okay, cool. So I just thought, wrapping up Subaru Loves the Earth month, I thought that was a cool story to mention.
Yeah.
And then also, as we wrap up Subaru Loves the Earth month, next month, May, we are going to be doing road trip heavy talk. We're talking road trips.
Nice.
And my challenge to you, the listener, the viewer, get on Twitter, find us, the SWR podcast, and let us know your craziest or funnest road trip you ever took.
Most fun.
Not funnest.
Funnest.
Funnest in the most way.
It's not a word.
Funner. The funnerest most. The mostly funniest, funnerest fun way. Road trip.
Good luck.
Eyes smart.
All right, let's move on.
I graduated high school. All right. He's Jeff. I'm Austin. We'll come right back. We'll talk about Reels, the movie's coming out this weekend. Stay tuned.
My name's Jamie Usry, and my Subaru is Freedom. I've had so many animals over the years. One of the things that I love about Mark Miller Subaru is they're the largest animal welfare supporter in the Salt Lake Valley. You may not even realize it, but they're probably supporting a nonprofit that you love in the community. And my wife and I, our daughter Harper, and our dogs, we're just so happy that we picked Mark Miller Subaru. Subaru is a brand that I trust, and Mark Miller Subaru is the local retailer that I love.
All right, Jeff, let's wrap this up
Reels.
with some Reels. This is
Netflix.
I've kind of fallen
Chimp
into this
empire.
groove of talking about things I watch with my kids.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have little kids.
And when the 1-year-old is teething and he's getting tubes in his ears next month because of all these recurring ear infections, and he's up all night screaming, when I find a show that he just listens or watches, I get hooked on it. I thought, let's see what this monkey show is. Oh, sorry, chimpanzees. They're not monkeys.
Yeah, right. That's insulting.
It's a 5-part docuseries from the Ngogo Forest in Africa where they follow these two rival troops of chimpanzees for 3 years.
Yeah, chimpanzees and monkeys are mean, and they're families, and they're violent with each other.
Yes. It's like The Sopranos chimpanzee style. It's wild stuff. And my 1-year-old does not move. Just sits there and watches every second of this show. My 4-year-old gets terrified and won't watch it.
No, you should watch this stuff in person. It's crazy. So we went on a thing with the kids
You've seen these in person? Like out in the wild?
February in Malaysia.
Oh, wow.
So then we're in a river boat, and you go through, and it's basically got trees on each side, right? So it's maybe this river separated by 20 feet, maybe 15, 20 feet. And we're talking to the guy who's running the boat, and the Malaysian guy, and he's telling us about it. And there's two families
On
that
either
have been there
side?
for hundreds and hundreds of years. And there's two families of chimps, and they fight each other. And if one goes even across, because like people come on the boat and they give them food, and they're not supposed to, but they give them
Of
food.
course
So
you do, yeah.
There's like fights to get the food. But if one goes across, it's like war. It's like chimp war coming across the water, and like bloodied up dead chimps everywhere.
Oh,
And then they go back. But like it's crazy.
sad.
Yeah.
But that's nature.
But it's nature, yeah. But like they're like very territorial.
And this narrated by Mahershala Ali. So it's really, and he talks about, I mean, it's written for him, but he talks about when you look at chimp troops fighting, it shows the best and worst of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And how about this for a stat? Chimps and humans share over 98% of DNA.
Crazy, right?
What?
Yeah.
So the only
That's
difference
like your
is they have
brother.
hands instead of feet, and our brains are more human,
Crazy,
obviously. Yeah. All right. Also out this weekend on Disney Plus. You
Peter Pan and Wendy
stream this with your kids, I guess.
comes out today.
Comes out today.
April 28th.
This is a story that just keeps getting retold over years, and I'm sure your family will have a good
It's
family
always
night.
good.
It is always good. Yeah, Hook was the best.
Yeah, I love Hook.
Out in theaters this weekend. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. If you know the author Judy Blume, This was a book that she had
Rachel
great
McAdams
success
in
with.
this. Kathy Bates.
Yeah.
Should be a good one.
And I think it's a good family coming-of-age movie to go see. One that you may not take the whole family to this weekend, though. It's called Sisu. And it's not about a cute dragon and Raya.
No.
It's Sisu is a Finnish term, Finnish slang that means pretty much you're not going to stop me. You're not going to get in my way. Larry Markkinen would know what Sisu is. And this is a Finnish film that came out last year and is now hitting the States about the end days of World War II and a Finnish gold prospector fighting to save everything he has to his name from the Nazis and doing so with great aplomb.
Interesting.
So anytime you see Nazis getting slaughtered,
sounds like a good movie.
I'm there.
All right, and the last
my
one
new
we got.
bio for the website.
Last one we got today is something I started streaming this week, and a recommendation from Josh Goldsmith.
Which could always be dangerous.
Always dangerous. Called Blackbird, though.
Okay.
Very cool show. So it's about, I think it's a 6-part series.
So it's not a movie.
Nope, 6-part series, about an hour each episode. And it's about a drug dealer who gets convicted.
So that's why Josh knew about it.
And then while he's in there, so while he's in jail, the FBI gets him to agree to basically be a snitch and go in and transfer to another prison to get close to this other prisoner who they're trying to find information to get him convicted. Because he's about to get off. Like, if he goes to appeals court, they're going to lose an appeals court, and he's going to get set free, and they know he's the killer. He's like a serial killer.
So the drug dealer's
so
there.
the drug dealer's there. They basically put him into one of the worst prisons on earth, and it's a true story, based on a true story, to try and get this guy to tell him where the bodies are so he can...
Oh, my gosh. Wow. And it's
in
got a great cast.
In exchange, they tell the drug dealer, if you get that information, we'll immediately commute your sentence.
Wow. So immediately
out of jail. If he gets the information. That's the only reason he's doing it.
And it's based on a true story?
Based on a true story. I'm on 4 episodes, 6 in, so I don't know how it ends. But it's awesome. Really good.
Don't Google it,
No,
because it'll ruin it. Taron Egerton, one of my favorite guys, Walter Paul Hauser is in this.
And he's
Greg
awesome
Kinnear.
in it. He's crazy. I mean, he's the crazy guy, and he's crazy.
This is him right here, isn't he?
Yeah, that's him right there. Yeah.
He's a great actor.
Yeah, he's
you know him from I,
He's
Tonya.
the, quote, alleged serial killer, because you don't know.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
So, but I would recommend it. I'll let you know how it ends. Well, I won't let you know how it ends. Well, I'll let you know if it's a good ending or not.
It's on Apple TV, so I won't see it.
He will see it because his wife has a subscription. He just doesn't like to support Apple.
I need to.
Although I make him use an Apple every day, which is amazing.
I still, every time, in protest, every time I have a problem with that, I just take it to Alex, the manager, say, here, fix. Because I don't want to even deal. All right.
Good show.
47 episodes in, 47,000 more to go.
All right.
He's Jeff. I'm Austin for Ashley. We'll see you next week on Sports Wheels and Reels, Utah by 5.
Trust me.